Look at this mess. This is terrible. But I do have an interesting product I want to share with you, and I'm pretty excited about it. Right here we have the Mars MT1000. This is a thermal imaging camera. Ooh, pretty exciting. You DNT optics folks who like those Zulus and keep wanting me to look at those. This is right up your alley. This is that kind of thing from oneleaf.ai. But what this thing does, let's look at what it says. It has video recording, a microphone, picture-in-picture, an HD port. It has, so you can run it right directly to your TV or your laptop, what have you. You can take photos with it. It has a gyroscope. We'll find out what in the world that is. I don't know. It has an E-compass, an IP rating of IP67. I think that's for, it has little raindrops on it. It has something to do with weather, I'm thinking. This is a micro SD card. 64 gigabyte goes in here. Sensor resolution is 640 by 512. Okay, but it's a 35 millimeter lens. Magnification is 2x to 16x. It has a detection range of 3.28 to around 19.69 yards. That must have to do with the zooming in focus, that sort of thing. And a rangefinder, 5.5 to about 1,300 yards built into this thing. That's pretty cool. Lens detection, 6 scene mode, profile manager, 1-shot 0, digital zoom, a rangefinder, optional, 11 false color, and interchangeable lens. 11 false color, I'm not sure what that means, we'll find out. And an interchangeable lens. It has 2 interchangeable lenses. So we're going to open this bad boy up with one of these handy dandy little fellas right here. I'm going to very carefully cut around here to get the plastic off of it. I haven't even taken the plastic off. Can you believe that? So you are seeing it right here firsthand. We'll make this desk even messier than it is. And we'll open up the package. I think we'll open up the package. Get that on there, kaboom. Arrows all over the place. But there's the box that it came in. We've got a manual, very good. And another thing right here, that's great. Take the plastic off of that, get this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. And this is what it looks like in the package right here. Pretty exciting. This is the little device itself. Oh, wow. This looks like a Zulu's, doesn't it? It's got a little thing here where we can take out, that's our thermal imaging sensor, I bet. It's got like the rangefinder built in here and a camera with a lens attached to it. Pretty sharp. And a cap on the back. First look through. Oh, not seeing a thing at all, but that's because it has to power up. It is not on. This has a built-in screen. It's not an optic that you look through like a scope. Duh, Rich, right? I'm not familiar with these things. I don't have a lot of experience with them, but I'm very excited about them, and I'm very excited about this product. These folks sent this to me to look at, to try out, see if I wanted it, and let me do a video on it. And I'm dropping pieces all over the place, and it's got this little attachment here, though. I'm pretty excited about this, though. So this goes on like this to cover up that, so you can look through it, and this protects your eye, so you're only looking at that in the event that you don't get the ambient light from around it, and you get a much better view through this optic. Before I lose all the rest of the parts, I'm going to put it together, learn about this thing, and then we're going to take it out and try it in the dark. How about that? There's this little card in here that shows you how to use this thing in different environments. There is snow, fog, city, forest, and rain. So you can set this scope up by turning that knob and set it up so you get optimal performance in different environments. You got some really powerful technology here, and it comes with a very detailed manual, which is nice, but I gotta say, this is way beyond what I can handle in one video, that's for sure. It would take me a long time to really digest and understand all of the stuff that's in this manual. Man, it's nice to have a nice manual, though. We can put this bracket right on the bottom of the scope and mount this to your weapon of choice. In our case, it would be a crossbow. So you double press and it starts recording, and this is what I'm seeing now. It's well lit down here, but if you look, you can see certain areas. This is a thermal scope, and certain things have more heat than other things. It is showing that around that doorway you have a lot of heat, because on the other side of that is the garage, and the garage is not in the air conditioning, right? Ooh, that is the freezer. So the freezer shows where you can tell where the freezer is on. Now that's the stand-up freezer. That is actually running, and the freezer next to it is that one in the center of the screen. That's a chest freezer. If you look over here, that's the old chest freezer. Look at that. That is creepy. But you can see what it is. It's a different design. That has basically freezer parts going up and down, and that bag right next to it there, that is the shop cat sleeping. That's Chrissy. This is the scope. Okay, that's what the scope sees. So there is the little cat. Do you see that little cat right there? Through the scope, you can kind of make that out. This is not the best video I've ever made, but you can kind of get an idea for what I'm talking about. And if we look up, that's what you're looking at right there, is that little cat sleeping, and the freezer behind it. That's the other two freezers over there. How cool is that?
You can see your little feet though. It's so cute. Hi.
All right, let me work on my video here. I want to try it out. All right, we are recording, so you get to see the basement in all its glory here. I'll try and keep these two things together so you can see what my eye sees, but also see the washroom there. We got the washer and dryer back in there, and we'll kind of make our way around here. This is what basements look like. But here we have the storage room, boxes, all that good stuff. I'm going to close the door and see if that's how this does with the door closed. Going to close that with my elbow here. But yeah, so the door is just about completely closed. And you can see with the phone sees better than my eyes. I cannot see as well as my phone is seeing, but the scope is doing even better than that. If you look around, we got boxes. I can make the outline of the boxes. There's all our canning supplies up there on those shelves. Look at that. That's all jars, canning jars. Ready to go. We're ready to go. We can pan around here, and we've got all kinds of other... Oh, Jesus! You rotten kid! That is creepy.
What does it look like?
Oh, it looks like a skeleton. It's your glasses. Oh, jeez. Ah! Get out. Get out. Where's the light?
I can't see.
Jeez. Thanks, kid. I really needed that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to try this again. I now have it on forest for the screen mode here. And if I walk around out here, what do we got? What do we got? We have a very bright spot over here under the car. The car is holding that much heat. That's why cats stay under cars, apparently, at night. Isn't that something? What is that? I don't know. That's interesting. One little tap of that button gives me the range. That says, what did it tell me? Flashes it real quick, but it tells you what the ranges are. That is the trunk of that tree, the trunk of the hackberry tree at the entrance to the 60-yard backyard. You can see basically the sap going up that trunk, I think, is what we're looking at. That's what's holding the heat. This is fascinating. That is the shed in the 60-yard backyard. Isn't it odd how the lights, there's a light there in the center and a light there that I have hung on the 60-yard backyard to give me light. I can see light going right out through here, but it does not heat up the 60-yard backyard. And if you look, these steps, it looks like the gravel around the shed holds a lot of heat in comparison to the rest of, and the building's got some insulation and areas without insulation. Pretty cool. Scene mode helps you set up between different scenes, and I basically just leave it on forest. I mean, we are crossbow hunters after all. But the fog mode
is not a bad setting to have for those really early morning hunts or late night hunts or whatever. I guess with this, you're thinking in terms of nighttime. And yeah, the fog rolls in overnight, doesn't it? False color mode is just your ability to change between these different so-called modes. Sepia gives you that old westerny look to it. White hot is the black and gray that you've been seeing on the screen that I had. What I really like is I tried jungle. I thought that would look like the Predator movies. If you had a body in there, it'd be all orange. So that would look really good. But what I really liked was night, because that gives you that found footage look, the green and black. Deathstalker. Shopcat. Mars MT1000. That looks pretty sweet on there, doesn't it? And I gotta tell you, I took off the Mike's Gotta grip there. I took that off. And because I'm not using the Oracle X on this crossbow for the foreseeable future, but I put that scope on there and look at that. That looks pretty mean on a Deathstalker, does it not, with my mahogany grips? Ooh. The last video of Crossbow Appreciation Month will be me shooting this crossbow, hopefully getting it sighted in with this scope. We'll take a few shots in the 60-yard backyard at night. Ooh, that's going to be pretty cool. I wonder what the Luminox look like going through this thing. Stick around and find out. Until next time, all hail Bunjie.